Hello, welcome to Free Yourself and
Stop Suffering in Silence.
Pastor Ken and
Tanya T. That's
listen,
me.
That's what's up, man. We are here to talk about a very touchy matter. Here today, we have somebody to write in to the show. We're talking about sexual abuse. Man, I tell you, it's going on every day. A lot of us, amen, have went through situations and we go to school, we graduate, we get married and all that, but sometimes we still have some things that we've been through. Different leaders, I don't care who you are. One thing about sexual abuse, it has no color, it has no age, it don't discriminate. So here today, a young man, he wrote a letter to us and wanted us to kind of give advice. We're going to read the letter. We're going to be very anonymous. We're not going to mention any names or any places like that. But we want to let people know that there's people still suffering. There's people still trying to get over what happened to them. And here on Free Yourself, we want to let people know that you're not the only one. And that's the whole trick of the whole plan of the enemy. He wants you to feel like you are the only one that went through that situation. So when you hear this testimony, it's going to help you. I'm going to share a testimony. I shared before at the church. One thing about it, when God has freed you and delivered you, amen, you know that, hey, somebody else need to hear it. So it's time for us to speak out, stop suffering in silence, and
free yourself.
Free yourself. So, Ms. Tanya, you ready to read this letter here? And thank y'all for tuning in again. And we here every week, every Tuesday. Let's let people know, listen, you got to get free.
Got to get free.
All right, let's go.
All right, bear with me because the handwriting is kind of light.
It's real light. I'm glad she's reading. I'm not reading because my eyes ain't as good like they used to be. So y'all just bear with us a little bit, all right?
All right. I would like to thank Pastor Ken and Tanya for taking the time out to read my life story. Much gratitude. When I was 8 years old, I was unfortunately molested by my little brother's father. Mm-hmm. I kept it a secret all the way to when I was 12 years old. I had to go to the court about the issue, which was very nerve-wracking. My mom loved him very much, his stepfather, and didn't believe me. This caused our relationship to become rocky. For months, it was just my mom, my little brother, and I. We didn't have much furniture in the house, and she didn't have a job. All of our money came from my brothers and I, child support, from our dads, and from the money our grandparents would send us. Wow. It became very noticeable that my mom was becoming stressed out. She adored my little brother, but took her frustration out on me. On August 15, 2015, she did a terrible act. She did many terrible acts on me. She had molested me that day. His mom.
His own mom?
His mom.
So his stepdad molested him.
His stepdad molested him first.
At the age of 8?
At the age of 8.
And now his own mom.
Molested him at the age of 12.
And you know, this is what's going on. I hate to stop you real quick. This is what's going on in America. This is what's going on in other countries. But when you look at, you got people that having babies, but they have a lot of mental issues, a lot of different things going. And now what you do, you abuse the baby, you abuse the children. And now the children are growing up. So let's keep reading.
Yeah. She had molested me that day. She had on August 15, 2015, she did many terrible acts. She had molested me that day. She wanted me to pay for taking away my brother's dad, which was her man. Since I didn't have my own, she did other things that resulted in me going to the hospital, but I don't want to discuss them. I did something terrible by hitting her with a frying pan and running out the apartment. I always regret hitting her with a frying pan.
I hate to say it. I think I would have hit mine with that frying pan too, and a pot.
And a skillet.
Just to get away. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do to get away from abuse. When you've been abused, some people, I just sit there, and that's what we're talking about, you suffer in silence. Hey, you got to get out. I remember my mom, when she was going through, she'd jump out the window. When she was, back when I was little, I remember mama jumping out the window like, wow. Trying to get away. So this thing is very serious. Go ahead.
It really is. After I got out the hospital, I spent the weekend with my brother and his father and his foster family. Then I was taken to a group home. I stayed there for a month. When my dad came to get me, that was the first time I ever met my dad. So he never even met his dad up to this point.
Until what? How old?
12 years old.
12 years old.
When he first met his dad.
Wow.
My living conditions there made me go live with my grandparents. My granddad just got released from prison, and now that he got released, he married my grandmother. These are my mom's real parents. They seemed very cool up until the point where I was comfortable enough to tell them that I was bisexual. Mm-hmm. They were firm believers of Christianity and didn't approve of it. They took me back to my dad's house where he cursed me out. Dang.
Mm-hmm.
The next afternoon, I was transported to another group home. I stayed in that shelter for a month and then was taken to another group home. Over the months I stayed at another group home. Relationships with my grandmother went from bad to neutral. The last conversation I had with her was about my little brother. She told me that he was back with my mom, which was good for him because they had a loving relationship. Today, I'm just trying to do the best I can in school so that when I turn 18, I can see him in person again. I know I'll see him again. I know I'll see my grandparents again and my mom. How would I get ready to see them? So he pretty much saying he got to face his grandparents, his brother, and his mom again. Mm-hmm. And he wants to see them, even though he endured a lot from his mom and even some things from his grandparents. But he's looking forward to seeing them. And his question is, how can he face them again after all he done been through?
First thing I know, because that's a deep pain, especially for a child, to care for your own blood. And a lot of abuse comes from people that we know, more than people that we don't know. If you look at the cases, sexual abuse, molestation, all these things, it come from, in the house, a cousin, an uncle. I know some people, man, they just, they have been through so much just in family. But before I go into, I want to share a testimony of mine where I share to the church. Like I say, I'm a pastor, a free to worship, and I shared this testimony some years ago. And when I was about 5 or 6 years old, something like that, I remember playing outside in the neighborhood, running around, and there was some white Caucasian males told me to come here. You're young, you're 5, 6 years old. That's why parents, please attend to your kids. Don't let your kids just be all out, because you got predators. Now we know what a sexual predator is. Now we know what, but back in the days, we didn't know all that. But anyway, the young male guy, he probably like teenagers, and they called me over, and the young man took his tail, took his penis out, and had me to just put him out and not being like, oh no, you know what I'm saying? But the thing was about the taste. I remember the taste. So growing up, going to middle school, going to high school, this and that, I always revert back, remembering the taste. Got saved, passing, teaching, got married. Told my wife, she know now, and I told the church. And I had asked God one day to take that taste away, because I still remember the taste. It happened very quick. One of the long things just happened quick, but I still remember the taste. So I was sexually abused. Didn't tell mom and daddy this and that. One thing like that, but suffering in silence. You go to school, you can graduate, be a doctor, lawyer, but you know what?
Still have demons.
I tell you, but still, it was an issue that I still, and thank God, it could have overtook me. It could allowed me to become somebody else, to date the same partner, whatever. Though I tell when I look at different ones that's dating the same partner, a lot of time we look at the branches of the person, but we never look at the root. So before you judge my branches, look at my roots. And when I began to look at different ones, like I say, God, he don't like homosexuality, but he loved the homosexual. He don't like lying, but he loved the liars. You feel what I'm saying? So with that, we got to look at things have happened. Like this young man, he got molested by his stepdad,
his biological mother,
and then got molested by his mother. So now he's bisexual. He don't know if he need to go male or female. You got people and that's why I hate about even the juvenile system. When you throw our kids in the prisons so early, they go in 2 or 3 years or whatever. They get messed. Some of them get messed with, and they come out now. They love little Sally, but they being with hearing. Now they got hearing and Sally.
It's not funny.
I mean, this is real. But and some people like, oh, I was born. You know what I'm saying? I never heard somebody say, people say I was born like this. No, I wasn't born like this, but something happened to me after I was born. Right? We got a lot of pastors and leaders preaching, teaching, this and that, all that, traveling the world, but still have an issue. Still have not dealt with it. They can prophesy. They can tell you what color your underwear is. But still not dealing with this. I wrote on the thing, deal with your issue before your issue deal with you. Now you find out, now this person that never dealt with the issue, now they caught up, they done molested boy, they done molested this and that. Why? Because they never dealt with the issue. You have to take it away. Never. So here, this young man, Ray, what do I need to do? I got to face now my past. I got to face now the one, my abuser. I got to face one that one have done me wrong, and or my family member, or my cousin, or my aunt, or my. One thing you gotta do, you gotta get on the road of forgiveness.
Oh.
You gotta get on the road of forgiveness. Without forgiveness, you can never overcome your pain. You can never overcome the obstacle. This right here, sexual abuse has happened. Man, I'm telling you, we can look good on the outside and this and that, but that's still that little child and that little boy that's on the inside of us still screaming for deliverance and healing. So here, free yourself. Man, I'm telling you, I'm so glad I'm better now. I don't taste what I tasted before. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I'm healed, I'm delivered, and I can go on and help somebody else, and don't judge people when you see people not looking a certain way you want them to see it. Get to know their roots before you judge their branches. Stop suffering in silence.
Free yourself.
Free yourself. So,
Pastor, that was really brave of you to actually tell your story like that.
Oh, it's one thing about it, when you're free, just like the woman with the issue of blood, when she got freed, man, she said, "Hey, it was me that touched you." Cause she was with the issue that, man, people, man, they ostracized, they separated her from the crowd. But man, when you got to tell somebody. A lot of times, don't be ashamed of your testimony, because you're overcome by your testimony and the word of the blood of the Lamb. So with this here, it gonna help somebody else. We been there, pastors and teachers. Be more transparent. You know what I'm saying? Let your congregation know I've been there. Like I tell people, I've been homeless. Even my wife was homeless for 7 months. You know what I'm saying? That's why I have a great love for the homeless people. And one thing about it, you're not homeless anymore when you got God in your life. But guess what? You at home. You know what I'm saying? So this is what it is, man. It's this what we do. This is why we here live. We're not here to be for no formal show, but we're here to try to help somebody get free. Even if it's just one person to get free from this segment. This young man here, we'll keep him in prayer. Like I say, it's anonymous, you know what I'm saying? We don't put no names in the thing, but we know something happened here at an early age. Now he got to face the people who brought him this terrible pain. So what you got a thing you want to say?
Yes, I think what you said was great. First and foremost, before you meet your grandparents, well, before you see your grandparents, your mother and your little brother, you got to forgive them.
Yes.
You got to forgive them. That's the road to recovery, when you forgive them. Also, I think being honest, like being transparent, like, Mom, you hurt me.
Yes.
You temper with my manhood before I became a man.
Come on.
And
That's
you
good.
allowed somebody else to temper with my manhood, and you took up for that man that's tempered with my manhood.
Yes.
And I think that he just have to be honest and straightforward and tell them how he feel, but also be able to forgive them.
That's it.
Forgive them.
The road of forgiveness, and when that doesn't happen, you're yet still suffering in silence.
Absolutely.
I suffered in silence for years. Like I said, that happened to me when I was 5 and 6. Really early. But one thing about it, you don't forget.